Welcome to another STEM topic episode. We're going to talk about asset management databases. So, the big thing here is it's storing your PLC programs or HMI programs, robotics programs, even Word documents, user manuals, PDF documents, along those lines. It can even go so far as instead of using AutoCAD Vault, if you use AutoCAD or I'm sure if you use like SolidWorks, Solid Edge, something along those lines, I'm pretty sure it has its own kind of vault system as well. But if you choose not to use their systems, you can also use an asset management database. Now, asset management databases come in all kinds of different flavors, once again, just like everything else. So, I believe that there's one of them here recently, or in the last couple of years, got linked together. And I know the one that it linked to, but I can't remember the other side of it. But that happens to be Version Dog, a VZ Version Dog. And personally, for me, I actually like that particular asset management software. There's other versions too. Allen Bradley has their own. That's going to be in fact they call it Asset Manager, or Asset Center rather is what they call it. And what I really like about Asset Center, for instance, is it has a system where it tracks it. So if you have an IoT, so Industrial Internet of Things, or an operational technology network where your PLCs are linked together, Asset Center is going to go out, pull that information, and make sure that what it sees on your asset database system is exactly what is on your PLC, within the reason of maybe a little adjustment of a timer and some of those minor little details that can be changed in an HMI. But it's going to do a comparison of that, and it's going to send you an alert on your, maybe an email, a text message, whatever you might have that set up to do from the database. It's going to send you that notification saying these aren't comparable, so that if you are like an FDA audited plant, you don't have a situation where you're out of compliance any longer. Version Dog will also do that, but they're a little more limited on what they can and can't do within some of that reasoning. Now, yes, they can pull it. Yes, they can pay attention to what's going on. But again, it's a little less, I would say it's a little less friendly on some aspects there. Whereas Asset Center is going to monitor that if you're using only Rockwell components. Now, the minute you start veering off and using Asset Center with Siemens, Fanuc, they do have bolt-ons that can go into that, as well as so does Version Dog have bolt-ons for other softwares as well. But once you get outside of those major proprietary systems and you get into smaller, less proprietary, and some of those might be like an Automation Direct PLC or something along those lines, then they're no longer able to monitor that system. But they do have like a check-out, check-in feature that allows for all of that. And we can look into some of that again in a more in-depth video on asset management software. But this is just our STEM topic, which is going to give us an overview of it. So those are kind of some of the features that go along with that. But the biggest thing that I like to point out is that an asset management database meets ISO 9001's 2015 requirement that your systems are tracked. And the reason why they have to be tracked is so that what we're doing here is we're saying that what we are producing from this line is not going to be altered in any way, so that we're altering the product coming off of our line. It's a very laid back, very kind of light umbrella, if you will, of a standard, but yet nevertheless it does want something that tracks and monitors your system a little bit. And it's a little more lenient on the monitoring side, but not as lenient when it comes down to the tracking side. So, can you meet that standard by simply using like a file folder system? Yes, but you really aren't monitoring it all that well. So you could have like a spreadsheet that gives you all of the when this was changed, who changed it, and all of that, and you can monitor that, and you have a gatekeeper, if you will, that keeps all of that information, and then you just save it to your file folder. Yes, you could get away with that and still be an ISO 9001 plant, but when you get into the USDA, FDA, possibly the NRC, and some other overreaching, I wouldn't call them overreaching, but overarching is the word I should use here, some overarching organizations from the federal government that are going to control what you do. And if you're in like the UK or some other countries too, you also have a lot of organizations that are going to monitor you to make sure that what you're putting out is a true quality product that isn't going to hurt somebody, kill somebody, or jeopardize a huge community of people. So they want something that's a little bit more stringent and a more regulated system than the ISO 9001. They're going to require you to use like Version Dog or Asset Center, that it's going to physically monitor everything you do on every single computer on that network. So that's definitely kind of where that's got to go, is that you've got to pay attention to what's being monitored, what's being done. All that tracking is there, and we can go back through and we can find who made those changes. And if you're the person doing the tracking of the change, remember, we all make mistakes. They didn't do it on purpose. It's not always true, but there's a good chance they didn't do it on purpose, but they made a mistake. So you got to kind of give a little bit of leniency on that. But we're able to go back and we're able to say, hey, we know exactly the date and all of that, so we can go back and track the product that was put out the door, so that way we're not out of compliance entirely. Or we can stop it from going out the door, we can recall it, whatever that might be. But asset management databases are going to be your friend. They're a huge, huge thing in the industry. They're growing every day, and with the wonderful world of the IIoT or the OT networks, we're able to use those capabilities above and beyond what they were, say, 20 years ago. So, that's today's STEM topic. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for additional ones.